Bitcoin has seen a very big day. We ended up bouncing off the bottom of this range right here. And actually, you guys are going to remember in my previous video, I showed you, where is it? This chart right here showing you how Bitcoin could be ready for a bit of a double bottom situation. And that is exactly what we're looking at right now. But in this video, I want to discuss for you how high this could go, even the very crazy things, because we are on the brink of doing something very big, and you're already going to know about this if you're subscribed to the YouTube channel. So shout out to those of you who are staying tuned, hitting up those likes, because we are looking at potentially 44k or above $40,000 if something like this can sustain. So stick with me until I get to that. For now, let's start off with the shorter term analysis, ladies and gents. This is absolutely beautiful price action, and we have actually managed to blast right through our kind of 19.5k psychological technical area of resistance. Now, I don't actually want to look at Bitcoin just for the moment, but what I want to do is divert your attention over to the dollar. A lot of people are very happy with Bitcoin, but I think this is still the dollar's show. The dollar actually just kind of fell out of the sky yesterday. I don't know what actually caused this. I'm sure there was some news headline. I don't know really what is going on, but it looks like the dollar just automatically somehow became weak last night. Now, the thing about these news articles, ladies and gents, is that there's always going to be, you know, all sorts of random explanations for what's actually going on in the market. A lot of them are false narratives, or they're just convenient, but not necessarily the real reason for what happened. So I don't even want to focus on that. But the fact that the dollar dropped has meant that we've seen just gains across the board, right? Look at all these stocks right here. Look at Tesla, look at Apple, look at Meta, you know, finally picking up a little bit right here. And the main one that I want to focus your attention on is the S&P 500, ladies and gents. And guys, I need you to smash up the fucking likes for this, because you are going to remember very well, hopefully, in the very last video that I was talking about how this is the best place for the S&P 500 to bounce from. I said it with a lot of confidence. If I have enough willpower, I will edit it in right now, that this is probably going to be you know, a very good bounce level for the S&P 500. And I even showed you with the Fibonacci retracement how we are sitting right between that 618 and 66 line right there. So we are seeing that move up right now. This is absolutely great. It's not going to last much longer. Actually, there's about 4 hours left until it closes today. But we are potentially just rallying right into these next areas of resistance. So that is what I'm keeping an eye on right now. If we take a look at this chart slightly more zoomed out and just kind of look at the sideways levels that we've got right here, there is nothing really that I can expect that can cause the S&P 500 a problem until it reaches kind of 4130. So we're still about 80 points away from that, and the reason that I'm saying that quite simply is because if you look at the run up, we were never able to establish resistance between this green box and this yellow box. On the way down, we came straight down, went back up again with this exception right here, came straight down again, and you can see that actually the market gaps in these situations. Look at these gaps right here between the candles. You can see that very clearly on that occasion. You can see it again right here. Guys, when the market gaps, that tells us this is, I'm going to call it a very high velocity zone. It's not a high velocity zone. I don't know what the correct word is. I don't even know if there's a word for this, but this is a zone where we just quickly zip all the way up or all the way down. Again, this is the kind of analysis I like to put forward. We're not using any indicators so far. We're however many minutes into this video, and I'm not trying to complicate things at all. I'm just showing you that between certain levels in these markets, the price does tend to jump. The reason I think this is really important is we haven't crossed this range yet. We still have some more upside to go, and look at what this has already represented for Bitcoin, right? S&P 500 up by 1.2, Bitcoin up by 10%. So, you know, I think that's a really important thing to keep in mind, that if the S&P 500 has a little bit more rallying to do, you know, Bitcoin could also be doing the same, right? And what this has done quite firmly is it's confirmed something else that I've said to you guys a little bit back, where Bitcoin could, I need to find the right chart, where Bitcoin could actually be in a kind of sideways trading range. I think I actually deleted that stuff from the chart, and I'll get to that 44k thing in just a minute as well, by the way, so stay tuned for that, because that one's obviously quite exciting. Now, one of the other interesting things we've managed to do is actually make this some sort of a deviation now. So if we're able to keep this gain, you know, we could be looking at a much nicer rally, you know, over these next weeks. It doesn't mean that all the bearish stuff that took us down here is gone now. Absolutely not. You know, I think this is going to depend a little bit on what goes on with the S&P 500 and the dollar, but I don't think that Bitcoin is out of the woods yet. I think there's still so many things that can go wrong for Bitcoin, but at the very same time, this is the best upward price action that we've seen pretty much since around over here, and that was over a month ago, ladies and gents. So that's about 50 days ago, you know, since we've seen this level of you know, nice upward price action, 43, 44 days, right? So quite a long time ago, I would say, ladies and gents. And it does, like I said, potentially confirm one of the other things I was talking about, where I was basically saying that Bitcoin could end up, you know, entering some sort of sideways channel a little bit like this. Better illustrated, I would say, if I were to use a couple boxes, you know, and the reason I like boxes is it just allows you to display nuance a little bit better. You know, these lines, they're very definite. Boxes are obviously a little bit more open to interpretation, but they still tell you the same thing. So, you know, I quite like these, and yeah, this is potentially putting us in, you know, in a next potential leg to rally the upside. I mean, really, the only thing to keep in mind now is what kind of resistance is there between Bitcoin and these upside, you know, areas right here. And, you know, I think the good news is the fact that we're already at 21 means that we've cleared a good chunk of it. If we throw the VPVR on this chart, we can actually probably get a pretty decent idea of where the resistance is going to be now, and actually it's right where we are. Not really super surprising. I'm seeing another nice spike right here at 23.2, but we're basically in the key area of resistance according to this VPVR indicator. Now, if you don't know what this is, pause the video, type this into the YouTube search bar, and you'll know what I'm talking about. This is a tutorial video that I've made on this indicator, and it is part of the 𝗪𝗪𝗔𝗡𝗦 Academy courses. Guys, we have absolutely ripped in this market. I told you guys about that trade I made on Phantom where I secured over 100% profit on part of my position. Absolutely fucking amazing. I am running a 50% discount on VIP right now. So if you want to get yourself inside, you can get it for half price, literally slashed in half, by following the first link in the description down below, and then clicking on the @4flies button and then send message. Guys, there's so many opportunities in this market right now, just given the fact that we've had this shake up, not only with Bitcoin, but across altcoins. I'm going to be looking at Ethereum in just a moment, and then some others as well. So, you know, I trade whatever I think looks safe. I'm very, very, very critical. I place a lot of critical importance, I should say, on making sure that I trade safely, making sure that my capital is kept safe. And if you want to see what the result of that looks like and all the decision-making processes behind what I do, plus just the raw information, where I'm entering, what I'm entering, why I'm going to do it, and so on, all before I even do it, you know, so you get the planning stages of every trade I make and then the real-time updates on them. There's a lot more beyond that. There's the 𝗪𝗪𝗡𝗧 library, the VIP library, where you can see in-depth breakdown analysis of the previous trades I've made. So you see analysis of the markets on this channel. In VIP, you see analysis of trades. So it's a completely different dimension. Very, very valuable. Lots more. 50% off, guys. Get yourself inside if you're curious. I just want to remind you as well, yearly members, you're getting phone calls with me whenever you like. There's no limit. You know, we can do as many as you like. Nobody's ever abused it, so that's why I haven't placed a limit on it. You know, and that's where we can talk about pretty much anything, really. Jump on the phone and yeah, have a good chat. So that's been very, very successful for our yearly members. Again, that's also going to be half price for you right there when you follow these quick clicks on screen. Moving back to the chart though, like I said, we are at a little bit of resistance right now. You know, I think that if Bitcoin can cross this area, if you just look at what's been kind of going on between this box right here and this box right here, it's again kind of the same thing I was saying about the SPX, right, where we just kind of usually go all the way up or down. In this case, we just kind of floated around and then went back to the top of the range, but then here we fell all the way back down. So, you know, this is going to be another one of those kind of, I would almost say, like liquidity is at a gaps, or high velocity zones, whatever we want to call them. It doesn't really matter. The VPVR is showing us exactly the same thing as well. So it's just confirming my own analysis there. That's how I like to use indicators. You know, I'll do my analysis on my own without any indicators, without any, I mean, I'll use tools, I'll use boxes and lines, but that's it. You know, and then I'll just wait and see if my indicators confirm the same thing. You know, a lot of people, they do analysis based off their indicators, but you know, I think that's a very dangerous place to be, and I think you need better skills than that in order to be confident, you know, because when you're trading in these markets, ladies and gents, you want to feel confident that you know you're putting your money in the right places. You don't want to be second guessing yourself right before you enter a trade because you know deep down that you're not entirely sure of what you're doing. That's a very dangerous place to be. That is something that we fix with traders that join our group as well. It's a very important thing to fix, and it's all about taking that long-term approach. You know, I mean, this isn't about, you know, short-term gratification. This is about giving you a good grip on what you can do for the long term to keep yourself afloat, keep yourself making nice gains no matter what the market looks like. So like I said, between this range right here, definitely a potential you know, kind of gap, nice 10% range, looking very nice indeed. If we are able to break above this, you know, perhaps we consolidate a little bit and then we can go up. Perhaps we pull back a little bit. If we do pull back, you know, let's look at where we might fall down to. I think this is a pretty nice area of support right here, basically going to be the 20k area. We could draw another box right here, starting to become quite a few boxes on this chart now, but the reason I wanted to draw this box is just to show you that anywhere between 20 down to basically 19.5, I would say, maybe, yeah, I can extend this a little bit lower, down to about 19.5, I think would be 19.6, you know, a pretty decent support zone for Bitcoin. So if we're able to kind of fall down here, I don't think that would be too bad. Let's just see, out of curiosity, is there a Fibonacci level that lines up with this at all? Yeah, so we got the 618 at the bottom. Not really, though. It's not the best place for a Fibonacci, but bottom line, I think that there is going to be something good for Bitcoin there. There's probably going to be a little bit of, yeah, there's a bit of EMA support right there on the 1 hour. On the 4 hour, there's quite a bit of EMA support getting ready to develop. So if the price does end up dropping down, this could definitely help sustain the price a little bit higher. Let's see what this is looking like on these larger time frames. All right, so we finally managed to hit that resistance on these larger time frames now, so that is something that I'm going to be keeping an eye on. But speaking of larger time frame, guys, I want to show you this chart right here. Let me hide my face so that you can see the chart. This is a chart that I've shown you guys a few times in the past with these kind of falling wedges, right? And this is where, don't get ahead of yourself just yet, because I want to talk about this a little bit more before we get to the part where you're bringing out that lotion. This is you know, one of the more typical patterns that Bitcoin has been producing over this last kind of 1 or 2 years, where, you know, if we form these kind of wedges that are trading upwards, you know, they tend to break down. If we're forming these kind of wedges that are trading downwards, they tend to break up. Lots and lots of instances of this. It always happens in reverse. So if we're trending up, we break down. If we're trending down, we break up. So lots and lots of instances of this. I've already shown this to you guys many times. Again, if you're already subscribed, you're going to know about this. If you're not, then please make sure you do subscribe so that you don't miss out on this content again in the future. Most recently, of course, we had the very same thing happen again, and ended up taking us back down. So that's great. You know, I mean, if we've got quite a predictable pattern, it doesn't matter if it means that we drop down or not. If we've got a predictable pattern that we can play with on this chart, you know, especially if we can inverse it, that gives me a lot of optimism for what this looks like. You know, in a normal circumstance, guys, if I saw a chart like this, I'd be like, get the fuck out of here. I don't want to see this. This is hopium, whatever. But because Bitcoin has consistently been printing these patterns and breaking out from them, so not only does Bitcoin print these patterns, but it actually does something with them, that makes me very confident that this is a good play for Bitcoin right here. This is something that Bitcoin could actually end up using. And if we take a look at the height of this pennant, really all this is, like I said, it's trending down, so the breakout side is more likely to be to the upside, you know, and we can actually extrapolate a target from this simply by measuring the height of the wedge from the point where both support and resistance have been hit. So the first time that support is hit and resistance is hit is where you can draw up, you know, to get an idea of the vertical pump, you know, and that puts us at a $42,000 pump. And if we ended up doing something like that right now, that puts us actually beyond 60. I don't know where I got this is where I got the 44k number from. Meant to be 42, my bad, I've been misquoting it this whole video. You know, and that could put us in a very nice place. Or, you know, if it happens by percentage gain, if it's 158% move to the upside, that's still basically a 2.5 times return on Bitcoin, and actually that does put us at 45,000. So no, it puts us about 50,000 actually. So Still a pretty damn nice price target if we follow the percentage gain. Obviously much nicer if we follow the dollar gain. And like I said, this is definitely primed for a breakout. Now, realistically, do I think we're going to get something like this? Not really. You know, what I want to see is actually what's going on with the fear and greed index. Let me bring myself back. Here you go. You're welcome. I want to see how the fear and greed index updates right here, guys, because you know, right now it's at extreme fear. This is obviously yesterday's reading. This is going to update within 8 hours, so still quite a bit of time left. But this is something that I'm going to be keeping an eye on, because if we end up seeing sentiment kind of jump up a little bit too much, you know, that is going to be an indication to me that that we are actually in a situation where we're not going to be able to keep these gains. And I do think that that's what we're looking at. I do think that we are going to see sentiment just really kind of pick up by quite a bit. This is quite an explosive move in the market. So I think it could give people a lot of hope. And based on how people respond, based on how I'm able to read the sentiment of the market, I'm going to be planning out my next moves. Because the thing is, ladies and gents, what we have right now is a situation where we could easily be just capturing a little bit of resistance before, you know, then continuing the downtrend. And if that's what ended up happening, that would actually be like super plausible, super easy to, you know, I mean, it would look very obvious in hindsight. And it's actually something that Bitcoin tends to do quite a lot. You know, I want to show you an example where something like this has happened in the past. Bear with, I mean, you know, a good example where it happened in the opposite direction was right here, where we just kind of quickly dipped and then, you know, really just went off to the races. Another good example is right here, where it looked like the downtrend was basically ready to plummet to the floor, but we had this kind of final little breath of life. And this is always that, this is that complacency. You know, if I show you that Wall Street cheat sheet, this is difficult to type. You'll see that, you know, that typical complacency stage, you know, that happens on the second rally after the top. It happens on the second rally. We just need to cool off for the next rally, you know, and you're expecting that that actually this is going to continue, and you know, nothing is changing. You know, that almost, if I start to get it, and I think I will, you know, I really feel like people are going to be thinking like that, but I don't know yet. I need to look at Twitter, I need to look at the comments of this video and so on. You know, but if I do get that sense, then yeah, you know what, I'm actually very, very open to the idea that this is just one of them typical things. It's happened a million times in the past. It's happened to Bitcoin, it's happened to many, many other assets. It's a very, very, very common pattern that charts paint before they end up dropping. And right now, just the fact that we've had a strong pump, that doesn't exclude us from doing this. You know, we absolutely could still be headed for something like that. So that is something I'm considering. And then again, just looking at this chart right here, you know, the thing is, just with the current economic climate and so on, do I really think something like this can happen? Not really. You know, bottom line though, I'm not really in the business of predicting major reversals anyway. So, you know, I'm quite happy to be wrong about that. I'd love to be wrong about it. I think it is really, like I said towards the beginning of this video, going to be dependent a little bit more on the S&P 500. It's going to be dependent a lot more on the dollar. You know, the dollar is actually at a bit of a support zone right now, ladies and gents. You know, I don't really know where this weakness came in from. Like I said, there's always going to be a million articles for why. You know, we're seeing you know, the dollar getting a little bit weaker, but I don't know why it's showing me news for SPX when I'm on the dollar chart. That's really confusing, but here we are anyway. And you know, I don't think that we necessarily need to read too much into things like this as well, you know. So if the dollar is able to recover from this, then that's it. You know, I think that that's just going to be the markets continuing to plummet once again. You know, yesterday or the last 2 days when you guys were hearing me talk about the market, I kept saying that you know, people are getting too cocky, bears are getting too cocky, they're getting too arrogant, they're very, very happy with themselves for being right about the predictions they're making. And to me, that is a major red flag. You know, when bears start getting too cocky, when everybody and their fucking grandmother is saying that the market's going to crash, that's where I start losing attention. I start clocking out and warning you guys that this is actually a support level, and support levels are where nice things happen, right? So I'm not saying anything that's crazy, I'm not saying anything that's groundbreaking. For some people, this kind of thing is a surprise. It just means that you don't have a good education in trading. That's totally fine. Let me fix that for you if that's you, by following these steps on screen. And of course, if you're looking for a place to trade Bitcoin, guys, I need to bring BitGet to your attention. They are offering you $8,000 in bonuses for signing up using my link in the description. I can see that many of you have already taken it, so shout out to those of you who have gotten your bonuses. I've seen quite a few of you have actually jumped on this. If you want to take advantage of it, if you haven't done so already, this is not going to last forever. Bybit's campaign has ended. So if you didn't get to take advantage of Bybit, here you go. Try BitGet right here for your $8,000 bonus. Absolutely bloody enormous, very, very big stuff indeed. So if you are interested in something like that, go ahead and check that out. Over for the markets though, like I said, you know, I think that we've got a little bit of resistance overhead. If we're able to break it, we could be looking at rallying much harder, looking at something like Ethereum right here. It is now in its resistance area. It's broken its 382 retracement, so we don't need this anymore. Against Bitcoin, it's looking weak though. Bitcoin is stealing the spotlight. This is actually probably the best thing I can tell you in today's video, is that Bitcoin is finally at the center of attention again. When Bitcoin is at the center of attention, it generally brings the whole market up. Do certain coins perform worse against Bitcoin? Yes, they do. But overall, look at how high Ethereum is today. It's up by 4.6%. This is quite an impressive gain. This kind of thing generally happens across the board to the whole market when Bitcoin is the star of the show. So that's what we have right now. That said, for Ethereum, there is a very nice area of support down here, and I think that this could end up working out for Ethereum. I don't think that Ethereum is going to be losing too much strength against Bitcoin. It's very common that we get these quite extreme swings, you know, with quite large bits of price action right here, but overall, you know, I'm definitely not worried about Ethereum. We have got that merge coming up in about 6 days, so you know, a little bit of a pump in the lead up to that, and then bam, we get sent back down. You know what, I think that makes a lot of sense. So there you go, guys. Thank you all for watching. There was a lot covered in this video, right up until the end. Hopefully you can see why I try and keep you guys around on these videos towards the end, because I'm always dropping very, very important truth bombs throughout the video, equally spread out, just really nicely, smooth little butter knife action going on type thing right here. So if you do appreciate that, well, shout out to you for making it to the end of the video. Thank you very much. Make sure you do smash up the like, subscribe, tick the bell, do all that good stuff. Get yourself inside VIP early members with 50% off, also getting phone calls with me unlimited whenever you want. We schedule them, and of course, if you want your free cash, like many of you have already gotten, your free $8,000 bonus, my bad, not cash, some of it is cash, I think, then yeah, follow the link in the description to BitGet, and you can take advantage of that. So there you go. Hope you have enjoyed this one. You know what to do, and I'm out. Bye bye.